Real guys, real sport. Bar TV.
Well, hello everybody and welcome along to Bar TV's semi-final coverage of the Newcastle Rugby League Final Series for 2015. And what a match this one promises to be, everybody. Lakes United Seagulls up against the Macquarie Scorpions. It's been some time since this home side in the Seagulls has made it through to the finals series, but will it be this year? Well, they've got to get past Macquarie, then whoever wins today will go on to play Western Suburbs next weekend in the real NRL semi-finals series. So it's not do or die for either of these clubs. They will be able to survive another week. Sudden death next week. And of course the winner goes straight through in the other match through to the grand final, which will be played on the last Sunday in September at Hunter Stadium. Well, the crowd is pretty electric here this afternoon. A big crowd in. The car park is absolutely chock-a-block. And the man that will take us through with me for the next 80 minutes, it's Morgan Campbell. Afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Peter. You're quite right. Big crowd in here today. And what you said is absolutely true. They haven't had a lot of success in the last few years, Lakes. And since they've been going well this year, the crowds have responded. And yet again today, there's plenty in here. The grandstand's absolutely chockers. And I'm tipping they might make a little bit of noise, particularly if it's close in the last 10 minutes, because when they played Wests here and also when they played Cessnock here, the crowd really got them over the line in a close finish.
Indeed, and I'd say there's a crowd well in excess of over 2,000 people in here today. As you can see there from our camera shots, well, you'd have to get here pretty early, wouldn't you, if you wanted to have a picnic up on the hill here this afternoon. Not one car spot in here today. And isn't it great that you can bring your car still into the real NRL just like you can at Harker Oval? Also adds to the excitement of NRL final series. We might go through the sides that we'll take to the field today. Let's go through the Macquarie Scorpions, the away side. At fullback, we have the leading point scorer for them in Nathan Cantor. On the wings is Matt Hay and also D. Alou. The 3 and 4 is Manson and Jeffrey. The 6 and 7, and I'll tell you what, Barry Moore is a very happy camper to have his 6 and 7 free of injury at this time of the year. Sumner and Moran. The back rowers of Jeffrey, Noble, Chaffee, Schmidl, Allen and Gallen. The interchange for the Scorpions in 14 is Randall Briggs, Isaac Briggs in 15, Travis Edwards in 16, and Adam Grew will play his second match in a fortnight, coming off the interchange bench for the Macquarie Scorpions. And speaking of the home side, well, here they come, led out onto the park. Graham Stair is our referee. Chris Adams, born in Nambour, up in Queensland, 30 years of age next Saturday. It's his birthday. So hopefully he'll be able to have a win next week as well. Made his debut, Chrissy Adams, back in 2012 for the Newcastle Knights as well. Let's go through the Seagulls as they'll take to the park this afternoon. The fullback is Mack, and on the wings is Craig and also Varka, Ikanofo and Josh Charles in the centres. The 6 and 7, Jay Sullivan and Brad Murray. What a signing he's proved to be. Brad Murray expected it and he's delivered. The back rowers of Hayden Jeans, Chris Adams the captain, Ben Sams is in number 10 in to replace Casey Burgess. Harton goes to 11, Rob Mason in 12, and locking the scrum is Josh Hayes. The interchange of D-Sacks, Adams, Harlow and Chance Burgess. And of course they're coached by Dean Noonan. As Macquarie come out onto the park now, this is finals football. And you're live on Bar TV. And also we'd like to extend that welcome to everybody tuning in and clicking on throughout the Fairfax network here this afternoon and all the way through to Grand Final Day in 2015. Both of these sides now just going across to say g'day and hello. As I say, first time in 2015. What's your take on this? It's a bit like under nines, really, isn't it, Morgan?
That's what I said yesterday. Josh and I were talking about this yesterday on the call of Cessnock and Central. It's a funny thing that they've brought in this year. It does bring to mind the under 8. So you'd imagine the referees saying now, no tackling by the jerseys, no tackles above the shoulders, all that stuff.
I can see where they're going with it, but I think it just takes a little bit away, like in your first set of 6, you just said hello to everybody and then all of a sudden you're going to bang them, hopefully.
It requires a bit of a change of gear, doesn't it? You're quite right.
Here we go. Game 2 of the first week of the Real NRL semi-final series for 2015 is underway. Sit back and enjoy this one. The winner to take on the minor premiers Western Suburbs next weekend. The loser after 80 minutes to tackle Cessnock in sudden death. Also next weekend. Then we launch into the final and then the big one at Hunter Stadium. First time we're going across to Hunter Stadium. We look forward to that as well. First thing is first. Back there down to Gallen. He takes the shot there of Ben Sams. They're 40 metres away from their own goal line. The defence is good. They've only come to the 40-metre line in the first set of 6 here. Macqaurie look for the kick just outside the 40. Moran puts boot to the ball. It goes straight down to Jack Mackin on his own 20-metre line. He's got support if he elects to go to the right-hand side, but he says, no, I'll go myself and take the shot there of Diallo. 15 metres in from that eastern touchline. Get in contact with us throughout the match as well. Hashtag BarTV Sports, or alternatively hashtag Real NRL, and we'll endeavour to read out your tweets throughout the entire Real NRL final series. Good pass there to the big prop in Hayden Jeans. He got it from Adams and takes him down inside the Macqaurie territory by 10 metres. Speaking of Adams, he's got the ball now. It comes away down to Murray. He offloads the pass back to Mackin. Back to down to Ikanofo. And he's going to be wrapped up on the last tackle. They're about 21 metres out. Look for the crossfield kick, will they? Yes, that's exactly what they do off the boot of Murray. Pinpoint kick. This ball might bounce and cause a bit of havoc. That's exactly what it does. No try. Sarah said he's offside. Penalty with the Scorpions, 10 out from their own line.
Well, I think we'll be having a look at this replay as Macqaurie take the tap quickly and they're going to get a penalty here. Lakes didn't get back to 10 after the penalty, but the kick was an absolute beauty. It hung up in the air, and the fumbles there from Malik Diallo. Adams came through, but the referee said offside, and a bit of controversy early in the game here.
Oh yeah, controversy, letting that ball bounce in a final series. Barry Moore. Not a happy camper you wouldn't expect, but he's been able to give a penalty away. As we see now, they advance it down to the 40-metre line. So they've dodged a bullet, and now they go back onto the attack through Gallen. He offloads the pass. So they're inching closer down to the 30-metre line. Centre of the park, left and right they come. They'll work the right-hand side. This is Moran giving it away to Shamidal. He takes it down inside the 20-metre line. Where will it come this time? Back through the middle again. The lock forward wants it. He's got it in Gallen. Harden straight into Sams, and over there is Harton as well. So it's the last tackle now for the Scorpions. Will they go high to the air as well? That's exactly what they do. They're looking for their flying winger out there. They've got it, and they're close to scoring. Possible. I thought for a moment.
They didn't get there.
Yeah, well, if he got there, it may have been double movement anyway, so it wouldn't have been a try either way, Morgan.
Well, there you go. How about that for 60 seconds for Malik Diallo? He spilt one up one end of the field and nearly let in a try. Then he's caught it up the other end of the field and nearly scored one himself. So a very busy couple of minutes. But as there's going to be he's going to call him back there. It's going to be a real contrast of styles today. Lakes have been at their best this season in close, tough games and tight games. Whereas Macqaurie, they've always got points in them. So if Macqaurie can put a few tries on early, it'll make Lakes chase. It's really good matchup.
Hope you can stay with us through the entire telecast here on our live stream, right here on the home of Newcastle Rugby League. BarTV, Adams, back to the kick, outside the 40, ball dribbling downfield. Back there is Nathan Cantor, the leading points scorer for the Scorpions this year.
Jay Sullivan, a terribly important player for Lakes. I know you mentioned Brad Murray in your intro there, but Jay Sullivan, he was actually a man of the match for us last week against South Newcastle, and he's very important in steering this side around and particularly linking with the back line.
Morgan Campbell in the commentary box this afternoon as well. So they take it over the halfway line through Shamidal. Picked up a try last week against the Maitland Pickers in their 42-20 victory. Now they look to go wide. This is Simon Allen. Takes 2 on his back. 31 metres out. 0-0 here on the BarTV scoreboard. Played at the back there by Mackin. He turns around. He's got a line of defence in front of him. As you can see there, he was able to beat the first one, but he couldn't get away from Subner. A bit of a push and shove as he got up and played the ball as well. Now away to Varka. He charges into Moran. Good run. Out towards his 20-metre line here, as they now take it over the 20 up towards the 30-metre line. And this is the centre 3/4 again. Ekanofo, good determined run there by the Seagulls. Good set of 6, and this is another steaming run by the 4 in Charles. He doesn't want to go to ground. He's away, and Chola charged and brought down 5 metres inside the Scorpions' territory. Where's it going to come now? On the 4th tackle, they're going to run it. Sullivan goes away to the right-hand side. The ball's on the ground. They better go away and scoop it up and put it back into their possession right here. As we see now the kick going towards touch. Didn't quite find it. As we see now, Scorpions going away to collect the ball. And, of course, that is Nathan Cantor.
Yeah, very busy start of the game from both sides. They're both keen to chuck it around. They're both doing plenty with it. And the movement up the field's been very good as well. Both sides have seen a lot of the other side's end of the field. As here goes Josh Schmiedel, straight up the guts.
Straight through the line, he's coming down. He offloads the pass. Oh, they've fallen over their bootlaces. Luckily, the Seagulls, that's exactly the way it went for the home side. So cuts out one to find the 7, and of course that's Moran. He's looking for support.
Schmiedel's still down in the middle of the field. He's just getting up now.
12 metres away from the line, looking for first points of the match. They'll drop it onto the boot. It's going to go into the in-goal area. Mackin's in there. He's not going to get back into the field of play. We're going to see a goal line drop out. 10 minutes gone.
Well, very clever player, Andrew Sumner. I know there's been a little bit of talk of Scott Briggs coming to Macquarie next year, but they'll be hard. They'll find it difficult to find a place for him in the halves. Andrew Sumner's been very, very good. And exactly things like that, just tactical kicks, puts it into the in goal and makes Lakes bring it out. So Macquarie got a big chance here with the first goal line drop out of the day.
So we've just got a few team changes coming through. Morgan, what are they?
Well, Marcel Ikanifo is in the 4 and Josh Charles is in the 3. So there might be a little bit of confusion, but I think they did this a couple of weeks ago as well. So you might have Ikanofo is in the 4 and Charles is in the 3.
There you go. Charles is in the 3 and Ikanofo is in the 4. So we now take it down to the 30-metre line. Come the Macquarie Scorpions. Just busting their way, trying, aren't they? Gallantly to go through the middle of the park. And that is Shafi. Which way will it come again? Back to Moran. Oh, hit hard and hit with everything that the Seagulls could deliver there. That was a beauty.
Yeah, it certainly was. Dylan Harton getting up and disrupting that move. You can see what they're trying to do, though, Macquarie. They're directing a lot of traffic towards Josh Schmiedel because he's been the man all season who's been doing the trampling, just like he did a moment ago, just trampling over defenders, causing absolute havoc running wide. And he's the danger man for Macquarie, and they're going to get him the ball as often as they can.
So the scrum's fed, and they come outside their own 30-metre line, and they're being pushed back here from Blake Gallen. Still going down to the 20-metre line. Well, that is finals defence right there in front of our very own eyes as Royce Jeffrey over the top there along with Matt Jeffrey. So they'll play the ball. Jeans. They cross the 30 up towards the 40 penalty. Rare penalty, but we've seen one here to the Seagulls here. Morgan 40 metres out from their own goal line.
Yeah, referee stare, just going the strip. Well, calling it a strip anyway. He's the one man in the real NRL who you don't back chat to, Graham Stair. I guarantee if there's a player out there that has a word, they'll be getting March 10, not a worry in the world.
Charles, driven sideways there from Mitch Manson. Also in there was Moran. Kylie Aylett's come in.
Look out!
Finals tension here. We'll go in and have a listen to Graham Stair shortly. But a little bit of niggle early on in this one.
I don't think we'll need to replay to see what happened there. That was a bit of craziness from Mick Moran sinking the knee in on Josh Charles, I think it was, in the tackle. And that's a bit of a flashpoint early on here. A bit of feeling in the game in the first 10 minutes.
Just listen to the report and don't say a word.
So this player was working in the Lakes player and the rush with his elbows and then he used his knees into the head of the Lakes player.
Okay, take it, Collie. Right. But you get careful with your tackles. Just walk away.
So there you go. You heard it there. Bit of an elbow, so they take the tap here as we go to the replay. As we see the incident there from Michael Moran.
Yeah, he went through the gears, bit of elbow, bit of knee. Lovely. It's like he was doing the nut bush.
Wait, go.
He had everything in it. This is Hayes.
Second.
8 away. Looking for first point of the match. Adams goes the line, offloads the ball. Only 2 metres out. Is it time to batten down the hatches here for the Scorpions? We'll find out here. Sullivan offloads the ball. They're over in the corner. Oh no. Macqaurie looked like he was, but he didn't get there. Macqaurie come away with it.
Knock on Lakes.
Knock on Lakes. No advantage. We'll have a scrum.
Well, a bit of drama there. Jay Sullivan, he found himself spoiled for choice because as they went wide and put on that set play, the Macqaurie defence opened right up and they looked short out there. But Sullivan decided not to stick it on the boot and threw it out wide and just came apart at the last moment for Lakes.
Get it in.
So Macqaurie, if you're watching our telecast outside of our viewing area, they finished third. After our competition up here in the Newcastle Rugby League, finished on 16 points. Came away with 8 wins this season. Lost 6. Good tackle. Possibly the best front-on tackle we've seen in the finals thus far. Whoa. Bit of niggle. We love this. This is finals football. You wouldn't have it any other way.
Josh Charles, he'll have a target on his head. He's just judo slammed to Josh Schmiedel. That might come back to haunt him later in the game.
Gallen to his feet. Here's the playmaker, running it himself. I guess he's got a free license to do that. It's impressive when he gets going. Look out for him. Inside or just outside the 40's the kick, but we'll come back here as the referee's going to give a penalty away here inside. He was only back 5 metres. As Brad Murray has a bit of a chat there to Steer on the way back to his 30-metre line.
Well, Barry Moore will be spewing about that last tackle. They just put the kick in and the referee blows up the penalty. Barry Moore, he'll be fine. Dean Noonan might be a little bit upset. Giving away a penalty on last tackle, never the best idea. And suddenly Macqaurie got very good field position.
It's just a good old coach killer if you're on the back end of those ones. So we're just going to find the Steedon Rugby League football. Kylie just gets out the way just in case she cops it at the back of her ponytail. So they take the tap and keep it going. The 11 is with it. This is Schmiedel. Wrestled into the turf there by Brad Murray and also Harton. Back there now to Noble. Finding Moran. Cuts out one. Comes into the play now. This is Cantor. They're up quickly on the fullback. He's a live wire. Picked up a number of tries throughout this season. Leading point scorer for Macqaurie. So 0-0 here on the Bar TV scoreboard. This is Subner. Goes short to Simon Allen. They let him up and play the ball back now. Back to the prop in Jeffrey. Put down there by Adams. Continuing to work the eastern side. They think they might have the numbers out here. Dealoo doesn't come down for him. Knock on. Stair will call it up here. Play the ball 10 metres out from the Seagulls goal line.
Well, one of the things about Lakes this year is they've come up with good defence on their own line all the way through the season. And interesting there, Macquarie's attacking pattern, they had about half a dozen players sort of more or less in 2 straight lines in the middle of the field on about 5 metres across. And playing a lot of decoy runners and throwing a lot of questions at the defence. On that occasion, Marcel Ikanofo got in to cut it off. But they might be short if he comes up and it doesn't work.
Well, what a year it's been for the home side. This is Charles. Phenomenal effort to rebuild the club from where they've been to where they are. This is a 40-20 if it finds touch. It does find touch. A superb kick. 14 metres out from the Macqaurie Scorpions line.
Chris Adams, how many times has he done that? Just jumped out of dummy half. He was only about a fingernail inside the 40-metre line, but found the touch line. The Macquarie backs didn't see it coming. Beautiful kick and a big moment in the game.
This is it on the replay. Look at that. The Seagull just guided that ball into touch. As we said last week, a number of Seagulls come across here to the ground as well. They must know it's finals time. They're here in packs. They work it to the right-hand side. Back to Sullivan. Oh, that's a good front-on shot there from Royce Jeffrey, the centre three-quarter from the Scorpions. Lining up now. Back to Sams. Hard and straight towards the Scorpions goal line. We're locked up here at Carl Oval. Maybe not for too much longer. Jeans held up, is he? He might give the try. First try coming up here in the finals to Lakes United. 4-0 kick to come.
Well, a pretty simple one in the end. The big front rower there, Hayden Jeans, the face ball across from Chris Adams. Well, he does everything for this Lake side. He probably drove the bus to the ground today. He kicked the 40-20 to get them to field position and then threw the flat ball across the face of the defence for Hayden Jeans. And he had a bit of space and he had enough strength to turn and twist and eventually get the ball down. And they're in front, 4-0.
The charging number 8. And don't props love getting a try, especially in finals football. Great pass from Adams. Bustled his way over the line. Thought he might have been able to get under the fullback for
Yeah, I
the
think
Macqaurie, but he didn't.
I think Schmieder was just up a little bit quickly there. And as soon as Hayden Jeans had the ball, he was past him. So he was able to just roll past him. So Schmieder will be disappointed with that.
Here's the kick. It's converted there by Brad Murray. Well, he bagged 4 goals last week. He's got a personal tally now of 99 points this season, Brad Murray. So he'll definitely, you'd think anyway, cross the 100 mark come 80 here today.
I'll tell you what, I wish you hadn't mentioned those Seagulls, Peter. I'm a bit gun-shy about birds today. After yesterday, coming into the ground at Cessnock, I got attacked by a magpie. So this is all making me very anxious, having these Seagulls fluttering across.
Mate, half your luck. Getting attacked by the... Oh, magpie's never a good thing, though. Any damage?
No damage.
Survived?
No, just damage to my nerves, mostly, as this ball's nearly come out here. No, they're going to play on.
As you can see there, we're not making it up. These Seagulls, they love floating around, just gliding around, just like the man with the ball now in 12 in Rob Mason. He's got a good offload in him. As Adams switches it back to the right-hand side of the park. Eganofo, he offloads the pass. Craig's down the sideline. He comes down to the fullback. He's running away from the fullback. He's trying to find support. How on earth did he hold on to it until the last minute? Macqaurie come away with it. Well, if you ever want to see a replay of that throughout the week, you'll have the opportunity. Well, that was just unbelievable right till the very last minute.
Well, Matt Craig, he scored a pretty unbelievable try last week against South. But I think that would have taken it. He was holding the ball. He was basically had one hand on the ball up against his back for half of that run. But eventually it had to come loose. And Macqaurie, well, they've dodged a bullet there because they were carved open out on that right-hand side. And the defence, which has been a problem for them all year, must be a worry at the moment for Barry Moore.
So 6-0 to the home side. Winner advances to take on the minor premiers, Western Suburbs. Sumner looking to get the ball back. Can't quite go his way. Picked up at the back by Jack Mackin. 2 tries last week, the live wire fullback over Souths. The last premiership round last week here in the Newcastle Rugby League, and Lakes absolutely put the sword through them. As we have a look at the replay here, just take a look at this Craig. He was coming back on the inside. Stair nearly got in his way. Have a look at that for Rugby League before Macqaurie plucked it and went on the attack. Impressive stuff here in the NRL.
It was a very important hand. I think it was Mitch Manson who just got a hand on the ball as Craig blitzed past him and it jarred it out onto his back. And eventually that was what got the ball out of there. He was very, very lucky.
So this is the last tackle now. Murray bangs it into touch and finds the line 12 metres out from the Scorpions' goal line. They got the breeze behind them as well in the first half, the home side. Breeze has picked up.
Yeah, there is a bit of breeze about. It's a bit chilly up here. Everybody's pretty well rugged up over here in the grandstand.
It's blowing out of the south. As we mentioned, running behind Lakes United. brilliant story.
Set it.
Dean Noonan and his squad in 2015. Everybody had them coming dead set last. But they've been able to rebuild fairly quickly and go beyond a lot of, I guess, other club and fans' expectations. But the fans here have responded. Big crowd in and loving what they're seeing right now. Crowds like this have been fairly few and far between over the last 4 or 5 years, but back where they should be. As the Scorpions, 5 metres out from the halfway line. Schmidl. Hutton gets off him, along with Sams. They're going to kick again. Off Moran. Towering kick. Played at by Mack, and he's got to go back into the in-goal area. He's got a bit of work to do, but he makes it look easy. Back into the field of play by 5 metres.
Yeah, very good work indeed there from Jack Mackin. He made a bit of a meal of it at first, but recovered very well. He's an important player for Lakes, pardon me. Gets up into the line, and he's got good speed and agility. And I should issue an apology if his loved ones are listening today, because last week he threw the pass of the season out the back against South to set up a try, and I called him James Mackin. Can you believe it? His best moment of the year, and I got his name wrong. So apologies to the Mackin family.
Just got a text, they've accepted that, Morgan.
That's very good to know. Very gracious.
They're very quick. Adams, speaking of quick, that's him.
He lost that. He dropped that almost. Yep.
They're right in front of it as well. As I said, turns the big 3-0 next week. Chris Adams.
Even though he dropped the ball, you can see what he was up to. Those little scampers out of dummy half, working the forwards over and getting his team rolling. Very, very important to this Lake side. He'll do it all day.
Well, he's been to a number of clubs as we look at the replay here. As we mentioned, played for the Wyong Roos back in 07 and 08. Then, of course, went across to the Newcastle Knights, played a bit of New South Wales Cup before he debuted in first grade. I think it was against the Cowboys in 2012, if memory serves me correct, and then went back to Cessnock and then came down here.
Yeah, I think he's unlucky not that we've got more goals at NRL level.
Well, I think he was touted by, in the earlier days, by Brian Smith as well. And then he went away from the club and went back to the club, as we see now, going out wide, looking for gaps. Good ankle tap there on the 20-metre mark. So we've had 22 minutes here on the Bar TV scoreboard. Jeffrey, speaking of the man with the NRL experience, he was over the top there in Adams. 6-0. Here's the kick into the in-goal area. Mackin's back there, trying desperately to get himself into the field of play, but Macqaurie were all over him. Goal line drop out here. 23 minutes gone. First half, Lakes lead 6-0.
Yes, Josh Schmidl just came off the field for Macqaurie. So he's been replaced by Adam Grew. So Macqaurie with probably their biggest attacking weapon off the field at the moment. Had a good opportunity all the same.
Yeah, brilliant opportunity now for Macqaurie. They'll have to wait for it though. Lakes are making them wait. All within the rules of rugby league. Here's the kick from underneath the post. The goal line dropout. Goes back to the halfway line. And Moran gives it away to Adam Grew. Second match for Macqaurie in first grade. Getting his chance under the guidance of Barry Moore, of course, last year as coach, for handing the reins over. Back to Grew again. Second touch in this set of 6 for him. Well, he's growing with each touch, isn't he?
Very
Away
clever.
to the right-hand side. Are they about to be clever? Looking for their first points.
It's on again here. It's on big time in the background.
Walking away they go. Trouble. Moran's just put down a setter. 10 out from the opposition's line.
Well, maybe that little bit of a stink put them off. He's going to call a penalty here, possibly for back chat. Yeah, sure enough, Graham Stair. If you don't know by now that he doesn't cop back chat, well, you deserve it, I'm afraid. And sure enough, there's the first of the day, probably not the last. But there was a bit of a stink there involving Isaac Briggs. He was scrapping with somebody, I'm not quite sure who it was. But that's the second time that it's flared up here today, and inside the first 20 minutes.
And it probably won't be the last time too, because there's a lot of tension, a lot to play for. It's not do or die, although whoever goes on to be victorious today takes on the Rosellas, winner of that match, through to the grand final. Loser of this one will go down and take on the Cessnock Goannas in sudden death finals football next weekend. And you'll be able to watch all the final series right here on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV. In a fantastic year for everyone associated with Newcastle Rugby League on and off the field. And we're just warming up as we head down into grand final mode. Speaking of warming up, they've warmed to that. Isaac Briggs, he knew what he had to do and stole the ball penalty though, as he tries to get back off his back.
Trouble again.
Harlow's in there. Oldest for Lakes today. Let's go in and have a listen again.
Just while that bit of a fracas coming down, Chris Adams, just out of shot, is getting a bit of attention from the trainer. After he threw that intercept pass, he's just got the thumbs up from the trainer, but after he threw that intercept, he just went down. But he's got to his feet and staggering back to the line now.
Well, Harlow's just saying, where was the forearm to the head? We might be able to look at the replay if it actually was a forearm to the head. Let's have a look right now. That's what he was talking about. So Stair's got that 100% right.
Well,
penalty. Keep carrying on. Maybe speak, please. Right, after a while. Then, just give the shutter. Just in the ear.
They'll learn soon enough.
That's all it is. That's all I have.
Well, he's running out of patience there. And there you go. There's the signal for the forearm to the head as Macqaurie. They don't waste any time and they bang it into touch. Right on the halfway line as Matt Hay just gives it across there to the hooker in Noble, who sets it up now for Isaac Briggs. So 14 minutes remaining in the first half. Macqaurie down by 6 as they go on the attack out wide. Coming back on the infield, aren't they, Jeffrey? He's held in the tackle. They're trying to put him on his back. Sullivan and Adams, they find it too hard on that occasion to do so. Penalty again. Not back the 10. Well, he's been pretty harsh on his 10 metres today. He's trying to give the hint. So they're going to take the tap and try and get on the scoreboard for the first time. Simon Allen runs into Mason. Again, Adams is in there. Very strong work rate in defence and also in attack. He's never far away, is he? Juggled straight into the Seagulls' possession, though. They've diffused the situation before Mitch Manson was there for Macqaurie. 4 metres away from their own goal line. Moran's in there again.
Well, again, you can see what they were up to there. That time opening it up for Isaac Briggs. He couldn't handle the ball, but as a penalty goes to Lakes. You can see, though, Macqaurie, they're scheming in attack. They've got a lot of points in them, and even though it hasn't stuck just yet, wouldn't be surprised to see them crack Lakes open.
Good touch finder. The breeze assisting. This is Callan Adams. Back to Chris. Murray throwing the dummy. Not fallen though by Blake Gallen. Chris Adams. Nice pass coming up here for James D. Sachs, who's on in jersey number 14. Takes the shot there of Jeffrey. Adams again looking for Harlow. Harlow's got it. Wrapped up by Gallen. Adams goes himself. Gives it away to Murray. Overlap out here. Are they about to go over? Knocked down by Macqaurie, I think you'll find from the naked eye.
Yeah, Nathan Cantor was an important one too, because they went for the offload, Josh Charles. But Cantor there just getting a mid on it, knocking it down. Macqaurie under a bit of pressure, because Lakes, every time they get down there, they look very, very slick and very, very dangerous.
For our fact gurus out there who love a few stats, There's not much separating both of these sides. Been able to come away, let's see, goals, averaged 24 points in attack throughout the competition rounds and conceded 18 in defence. Well, for the Scorpions, not much is it, as I said, between these. 26 points in attack on average and 20 points in defence. As we see now, the Scorpions trying to defend. As Adams works it to the right-hand side. Backer comes now to the big number 12. Still going. 14 metres away from the goal line. Quick play to ball. Adams spirals it out wide. Finds Harton. He goes himself. And takes the shot, finally, of Shafi. They go from dummy half. They want to dig. They might have been able to go all the way and score their second. They have. Well, before the break, brilliant stuff here. And the fans, don't they love that?
Well, there didn't look to be a lot on there. The old dive over from dummy half, I suppose. It's one of those things that if you do it often enough, it's going to work eventually. And, well, he didn't even throw the dummy on that occasion. He just dived over and was a bit too strong close to the line. So Macqaurie, that's a bit of a soft try for them to let in. They'll be disappointed with that. They're now all of a sudden down 10-0. The Lakes crowd are well and truly up for this and very pleased with what they've seen so far.
So Brad Murray looking to pass 100 points with this conversion for 2015. Currently sitting on 99. As we said, a remarkable year with the boot. He's been able to bang home 43 goals prior to this kick. Can he notch up his century? No, he'll have to wait for another day.
Commentators curse.
Another time. Uh-oh. Don't you love it? There he is on screen. Loves the tattoos as well, doesn't he? As you can see there, running back to his halfway line on the attack, going down the right-hand side, like many rugby league players in 2015. Gone are the days where they used to be Morgan Campbell.
What, tattoos?
Tattoos.
I don't remember there ever being those days, dear, oh dear.
They might have had a little one, but these days it's nearly on every part of the body, isn't it? You a fan of that?
Oh well, it's certainly it's certainly part of the footballer's uniform in 2015. Yeah, a couple of tats.
Maybe we'll see the day where we get rid of the jersey and it's a jersey maybe tattooed on. You never know. How far can rugby league players go? How far can the clubs take it? It'd be interesting though if they switch clubs.
I was going to say it'd encourage club loyalty. Yeah,
it would. Might make them stay. The pain to take it off would be there.
Tim Harlow's put that one down. So the momentum just slows a little bit here for Lakes.
8 minutes remaining in the half. Here in the finals. A little bit flat here. This is Randall Briggs.
Well, they set very deep to the left here, so there might be an attacking play coming.
They cross the unusual halfway line here today. I don't think there's enough colour on that halfway line. I think we've gone through nearly every colour in the Bunnings shop. Good tackle, he's lost the ball. Michael Moran has put it down. Well, he's had a few errors in him today, the half-back from Macqaurie.
Well, that was a strange tactic, really, when you think about it. I mean, I don't think Michael Moran would be the bloke you'd want cannonballing through a gap like that. He's more the bloke you'd want throwing the pass. So, of all the players they could have aimed into that gap, I don't know if Michael Moran was necessarily the right one. And no surprise, he got hit like a bus in the end.
Let's go, Lakes. Right, set it. Lock. Get your heads in. Try not to disappear. Right, get in.
So Murray feeding it. Seagulls. Again, this is their plan to go maybe 2 or 3 up the middle and exploit the edge on the 4th or 5th. That's what we've known them to do in 2015. Rob Mason. Just short of that 40-metre line. Adams. Out of Callan. Adams.
Work here, kick out, boys. Kick out, kick out, kick out.
Now to Chris Adams, giving it away to Murray, cutting out one, quick hands. Josh Charles still going, got up, went again, sees a gap. Shirt nearly off, down to the 12-metre mark. Last tackle, look for the kick, there it went. And we're going to see what the result of this is, because Isaac Briggs, you'd have to say, played with that. Exactly. Scrum feed to the home side. 4 minutes out from the break.
Yeah, pretty easy decision for the referee there. The kick went straight to Isaac Briggs, but it came back out again. Easy enough to do with the reflexes close there. Josh Schmedel's got the number 4 in his hand, the interchange card, so it looks like he's about to come back on. Although he won't be doing it now while they're defending their own line.
Can they strike? Leading into the break. Up by 10. Mackin. Good ball. Craig. Oh, he's into touch. Well done there, Macqaurie, to scramble in defence.
Well, the old Gidley flick from Jack Mackin there. But just couldn't quite hold it, Matt Craig. It was a bit of a tough ask over on that side of the field. But they went for the attacking play straight away early in the set there, Lakes.
Inside the last 4 minutes here. Newcastle Rugby League Finals football for 2015. Just tuned to the coverage. Seen 2 tries this afternoon to the home side in finals football. The first time in a long time. And the fans love that. They've responded here. They're not just in first grade today. They're in 3 other grades. So credit to everybody here at the club. And their coach especially, N.D. Noonan in top grade. Stellar effort to get them to where they are. Short pass, finding Isaac Briggs. That's the last tackle. Over the top of Mackin's head. Dribbling back into the in-goal area. He's got a wall of defence in front of him. Got back down low because he knew he had to somehow get it back into the field of play.
Bit slow getting back some of these Lakes forwards. I noticed Macqaurie were a little bit bunched up in their attacking set as well. So it's been a pretty hard first half. I think there'll be a few of these players pretty keen for the half-time break.
And hear the referee loud and clear on our special effects mic, as you've been able to hear all year right here on Bar TV. Love taking everyone into the action. As close as the action, to be able to hear the action, that is for sure. That's what we wanted to do in 2015, and it's worked a treat. Here's the kick inside the 40. Straight down to Manson. He knows he's playing rugby league here at Carl Oval. Cop that.
He will now. Either that or he's fighting Ronda Rousey. That was a huge tackle.
Charles in there again. As we count down towards halftime, 2 minutes to go. Trying to steal the ball, I thought there. Adams wanted to somehow get it back.
You see there, 2 into the tackle straight away on Josh Schmedel. He hasn't got away a single offload in this first half. A very important part of Macquarie's game when he hits it up and offloads and they can use the backs out wide, and it hasn't happened yet in this first half.
This is Adam Grew. James Desack stops him in his tracks. Sumner. Mackin hoping it's going to go straight down his throat. Losing it. Went backwards. Until then.
Oh, hello.
Seven Lakes.
Knock on Lakes. See, I thought so. When he first gave that motion, I thought there'd be an inquiry here. But Macquarie are going to get the ball back, and what a great time for them to get it. A couple of minutes to half-time. They're down 10-0. They need to hit one here. This would be a great time for them to go over.
Just on 1 minute before we go into our 10-minute break here. This is it on the replay. That's what's resulted to this play coming up now for their halfback in Moran. Trying to spin away from the Seagulls defence. Again, they attack, looking, probing to the gap, slicing their way close, aren't they? Only 2 metres away from the goal line. Schmidl gets to his feet, finds Briggs, losing it.
Strip, I think. Yep, it was a strip by Chris Adams. And Blake Gallen, well, he was just nailed on to score there. It opened up for him, and he was just going to stroll through like it was a Sunday morning in the park. But Chris Adams managed to reef the ball out, and there'll barely be time for any more tackles here for Macquarie. So it could have been a really big play.
They're not long on the clock. According to our clock, we're approaching half-time. Here's the kick from Subner. He's trying to get it back. Can he get it? No! Oh, acrobatic stuff in the in-goal area. Thought for a moment we're at the circus.
Look out, there's an appeal here for a penalty try. The linesman's come flying in.
Wow.
Andrew Sumner thinks he was impeded here after he put that second kick in.
Let's have a listen.
17. Time off, blue time off.
Well, there'll be a big chance of a sin binning here if they're calling out Tim Harlow.
This player's come through and he's pulled down number 6 and they're trying to score a try.
Well, there you
Who's going to go
go.
against you? Righto. There's no way I'm going to award a penalty try because there's no way it would be.
No penalty try.
Ball's in the touch.
Well, Stair said there's no way it would be. But he's ruled that Harlow impeded him. As we go to the replay here, just keep an eye. Top of the screen there.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
Not much in it.
Well,
But Stair was confident that it wouldn't have been a try because that's the way he's gone. So we come back to the live action here. Not long on the clock to go before the break. Macquarie, can they get one before the break? Uncharacteristic. Moran, he's got to go back up the other end of the park. And he's going to be pushed back on his own. 30, the ball spills out as well. Penalty! Raked out.
Peter, you've got to think, that's the siren in the
That's the
background
siren.
there, so they're going to have to take the 2 here, you'd imagine. You'd have to think that if that tackle from Tim Harlow or that interference from Tim Harlow was serious enough to warrant a penalty in the course of him trying to score a try, I understand the kick was going to go long and it's not a penalty try, but surely to heavens it's a sin binning for a professional foul. If the only reason that he interfered, it got in the way of him, was to stop him from scoring, that's a professional foul and he should be in the bin.
Finals football always brings out a different set of rules, doesn't it? But one rule should be the lot, that is for sure. But I guess it's open to interpretation, and we've got the referees right in front of us right now. And they're happy with it, that's for sure. It could have been a possibility, but unfortunately, Sayer's own discretion was the opposite to that.
It's a big thing in the game too, if you imagine. I mean, a couple of seconds before half-time, if Lakes had to come out after half-time and play 10 minutes with 12 men, that's a huge advantage for Macquarie, especially at half-time because they can plan for it. With it being 13 on 13, that advantage obviously isn't there. So it's a pretty big decision from Graham Stair, and I suspect there might be a few words from Macquarie at the break.
So kicking into the breeze, siren has sounded. Looks nice off the boot. So we go to the break. The home side leading by 10 points to 2. And as you said there, Morgan, under circumstances that could have went either way.
Yeah, look, a very good first half, a very tough game, a bit ratty at times. There were a few little stinks and fights and scraps and all that, which is what you'd expect in a finals game where there's plenty at stake, but very entertaining. Both sides are playing hard, and either can win it in the second half. Macquarie's attack needs to get better. They need to get Schmidl delivering those offloads and busting a few more tackles than he has been so far. Lakes have been very good at shutting him down. They also need to work on their defence, Macquarie. A couple of soft tries for Lakes in that first half. And if Lakes have got a lead late in the game, well, they're probably the best in the comp at closing it out. So they need to do something early in the second half, Macquarie, but they're very much still in it.
Okay, thoughts there from Morgan Campbell. So what we'll do, we'll take our break and come back for the second half here. It's finals football right here on Bar TV.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
Real guys, real sport. Bar TV.
And welcome back to the second half. Graham Stair awaits out there, just juggling the ball around. Well, he's been pretty strict in his first week of the finals. He's not going to put up with much, of course. Probably in the top two to go through to the grand final and officiate at Hunter Stadium in a few weeks' time. So we're just waiting now for the Macquarie Scorpions. They're keeping them waiting.
Well, Peter, one of my spies in the grandstand at half-time told me that he's got the Macquarie coach and assistant coach, Barry Moore and Adam Bettridge, sitting behind him, and they thought it was a penalty try. I think it's fair to say. They were out of the seat and screaming absolute blue murder. So referee Stair hasn't earned himself a friend in the first half, on the Macquarie side at the very least. He said all the way through the half they're out of the chair and getting into it. So very, very tense on the Macquarie side of the grandstand today, as you would expect, and I'm sure it is on the Lake side as well. It's one of those days where little things like that can turn the whole game.
Matt Harris, the CEO, just walked past. Didn't recognise him in his casual attire. The CEO of our competition here in this part of the world. So we're underway for the second half. 10 points to 2. They've just forgot to add the 2 over there on the scoreboard.
Gamesmanship.
It is.
Not an accident, I assure you.
All a part of the plan.
Yeah.
Keeping Barry guessing.
Having said that, it's a pretty awkward scoreboard to walk up, you'd imagine. They might just not be willing to take the OH&S risk for the sake of 2 points.
Straight through they go.
Strip.
6 more tackles. Down to the 40-metre mark. Oh, that was a high shot. And awarded. Might be able to just sort of grabbed him around the neck. Got a bit of a call there from the touch judge as well on this commentary side. So we've seen a bit of everything in this match, as you'd expect here in the finals. So they take the tap, the home side, running towards their club end of the ground. Adams awaiting in a dummy half before going short there to James D. Sachs. Off the bench. Played about 20 minutes. The referee has seen a tiny bobble here right on the goal line.
Yeah, a bit of a sickener for James DeSax there. Just got the fumbles, playing the ball in front of the goal posts. And a pretty important mistake, that one, because if Lakes had come out straight after half-time and put points on Macquarie, everything that Barry Moore said at half-time would have basically been out the window. So a very important little moment in the game, that one. And Macquarie can come away with it.
Through Matt Hay. So Macquarie, coming into this clash, they've won 5 out of their last 6. So they are match hardened. Whilst for the Seagulls, they've won 4 of their last 6. So not much separating sides on paper. But looking at the scoreboard, 8-point ball game here in the finals, week 1. They thought that might have went marginally forward. The referee Stair, happy to let that one go. Says play on here. So if you just clicked on to our second half coverage, the winner progresses through to tackle Western Suburbs. Loser here today will take on the Cessnock Goannas in sudden death. Next weekend, week 2 of the finals.
6 more tackles here for Macquarie after that charge down.
Adam Grew on his back. First chance, second half. Shamidal. Got a good offload at him.
There it is.
We've seen it. And Briggs been hit hard over the top there. Bit of niggle there coming through. Isaac Briggs. Let's have a listen to this.
Whoop.
It's...
He's itching for a blue, Isaac Briggs, isn't he? That's the 3rd time he's been in the push and shove. But you notice there, first hit up at the second half, and Josh Smeedle got that offload away. And that's the one that will really be worrying Lakes. If he gets them going, Macquarie will get a real roll on.
So Blake Gallen wants it. He's got it. Away to Subner. He finds Manson. Straight through, he'll score! Macqaurie strike first in the second half. They're back into the match. They're back here, alive and well, after the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Well, another set play, but it could have been over before it began, that one, because Andrew Sumner, great pair of hands. He had to pick that up almost off his bootlaces, that pass, and he was able to not only pick it up, but keep his momentum, and then a good pass out the back, and eventually Mitch Manson slithered his way through, and that's a big one. 10-6 with a kick to come.
Well, they were growing in confidence with every touch as they were grinding towards the post. As we go to the replay, look at this lovely ball running. And who was there to finish it off? Mitch Manson picked up one last week against the Pickers, but an important one right here in the finals against the Seagulls.
Well, we mentioned it earlier in the game that Macqaurie, they've been trying some backline moves and some of the things off the training ground, and they hadn't quite been coming together for them. There'd been a few drops and a few little crashes and things like that, but this time everything went right, and sure enough they've come up with points.
So Matt Hay been in good form with the boot. 10 metres in. Staring down the barrel. Can't bring it back around. So the try is unconverted as Matt Hay goes scampering back to his own side of halfway. We've got a match. Don't go anywhere, right here on Bar TV. This is the finals, game 2 of week 1. It's 10 points to 6. Get in contact with us and let us know where you're watching the coverage from today. Whether it's from your lounge room on the beach, somewhere throughout Indonesia, we'd love to know where you're watching your final series football.
That's very specific, Peter. I'd love to know how many viewers we've got in Indonesia.
Oh, we've got a few in the huts. Don't you worry about that. They love Bar TV. And that's the thing about technology and being able to, I guess, take your laptop wherever you can. Doesn't matter where you are, even in the bathtub.
Well, I know that a friend of mine did take our coverage in the first round of the season from Mumbai, India. So, you know, we have got that global reach.
And that was on the train. Oh, nearly carnage here in the middle of the ruck. They've got good go forward here. Briggs bangs it downfield. Mackin's at the back. Trying to break free of the first man, but he can't. And they wrap them up and they bang him into the ground there. Of course, that was Sumner. Good go forward here. This is Adams.
Oh, turning points. Look out.
The match, is it swinging? Is the pendulum going the opposite way to the first half?
Yeah, it's a biggie. The forward pass out of dummy half. You see them every single week in every single grade of rugby league, and heaven knows how. It's just one of those things. The timing doesn't quite come together. And, well, what an opportunity for Macqaurie. They've got back to 10-6 and now a huge chance to try and even snatch the lead.
Bit of a hum goes over the ground as the faithful, the fans, hoping that Macqaurie will not come away with points here. But a lot of Macqaurie Scorpions fans have come away, and they'll believe the opposite here. They can get over the line here. They'll be back in the match. They're close. This is Grew. Adams over the top. This is Briggs. He goes himself. He gets down low. And Briggs may have scored the second try for the Scorpions. He has. Oh, we've got a game now. Oh, it's 10-all. Kick to come.
It's another thing that happens every week in every grade of rugby league. The dive over from dummy half. We saw one in the first half from Lakes. And now the 14, Randall Briggs, didn't throw the dummy, didn't do anything. Just dived over the line and caught the Lakes defenders out. So 10-all with the kick to come. Suddenly, Macqaurie can hit the front, and that didn't take very long at all.
Oh, sneaky Isaac Briggs. Is he what? And the kick, well, they don't come much easier than this. Just off centre of the field. 10-all. As we look at the replay, just look at this. He knew he had the goods if he could get down low.
It was a bit of a dummy there, I suppose, but look at how much it means to them, though. They've come from everywhere.
Well, they're just a little bit flabbergasted, the Seagulls. They're on a high. The Scorps, they're on a roll. Intensity is high. The kick looks even better. It sails over the blue dot here.
You've got to remember, Peter, Macquarie, they've lost their last 6 games in the semi-finals over a few years. So this is big for them. If they were to get a win today, the confidence would be huge.
Well, they've gone to the front here after 8 minutes of the second half by 12 points to 10. As you mentioned, confidence is a massive thing, and of course they've had an impeccable run into this clash, winning 5 of their last 6. And they haven't had a good run of last season. Of course, they were, pretty much hit by injuries. But Barry Moore has said he's got the side fired up and where they want to be heading into this period of 4 weeks. So far, so good. Bit of aggression. That's what you want to see. And that's what we're seeing. So it comes away to Subner. Offloading. Hayes has been steamrolled over the top. Look for the kick. Heading in towards touch. It's got a bit of a kick to come back in field, but ball goes into touch. 2 meters out. They've got their kicking boots on today, the Scorps. Let's see if they can keep that going.
Yeah, that's Andrew Sumner's game, isn't it? Just putting it down into the corners like that. He's very, very good at finding the grass. And sure enough, down the touchline. They don't need to rush things at the moment, Macquarie. They can just make Lakes work it away from their own end of the field.
We've just flicked past the 10-minute mark of the match as Varka will receive a penalty, stripped out. So this will get them outside their own 20 and a relieving penalty because they are under the pump.
Yeah, that's a cheap one from Macquarie. They'll be disappointed with that. They've had them pinned down there, and to give away a penalty like that, it's pretty soft.
Good meterage off the kick, and they approach the halfway line. Well, they're just tackling their hearts out thus far, and they'll need to here, Macquarie. Losing it. Diving on the ball. The Scorpions, well, a little bit uncharacteristic here from the home side.
What about the eagerness there from Mitch Manson? That's the sort of thing coaches absolutely love. He came off the back fence to fly onto that ball and dive on it. It just shows how much this game means to Macquarie. They're really looking keen.
Shamidal. They're lining up. Here they go. Can they offload? They couldn't. Mitch Manson. Good pass back on the infield. Finds Gallen. Out the back. Ball comes forward. Ball's been spilt. Cleaned up, of course, by Sullivan.
Well, what about that bit of play? 2 or 3 tackles in a row there where they were just working little inside passes. They had about 6 players on a 50-cent piece there at one stage, all just moving the ball between each other, and that's the sort of play that can really wear out a forward pack. So if that's going to be the tactic in the second half of this game, Lakes are going to do a lot of running backwards.
Stair. Patience tested nearly at every tackle here today. Saying get it into the scrum, and they fly onto it with aggression. Varka to the 40-metre line. Gallen releases to the halfway line. 12 minutes gone, second half. Home side down by 2. That's where they find themselves after 52 minutes of this clash. It was all them first half. They went to the break, Lakes at 10-2. So 10 points. Scorpions have been able to put on in the space of 12 minutes here. Where's Cantor? He doesn't want to go and get it. He says, Diallo. You're higher than me. You do your best. And he did his best. So they're coming off their own line now through Jeffrey. To the 20-metre line. Finals football here in the NRL. And that's gone forward. Chance now for Lakes.
Can't do that. Can't do that against a side like Lakes. They will hurt them. And just a couple of little mistakes from Macquarie. The old self-destruct button, giving away that penalty when they had them penned on their line, and now coming off their own line, throwing a pretty soft forward pass. So Lakes have got a great opportunity here to make them pay.
Finals football. Hits players in different ways, that's for sure. Trailing by 2, looking to bridge the gap. They're within 5 metres of the line. Adams, dangerous from this position, goes wide. Murray. A metre away. Adams cuts out one. They got an overlap out here. It's just a matter of putting it together. Where's the offload? There it is. Craig comes back on the inside.
Good scramble defence. They got across there well.
Steamrolling their way close. Last tackle now for Lakes. They go up through the middle. They're short. Good scrambling defence there from the Scorpions.
Got across well. When that move went across to Wikanofo, you thought they were going to score for all money. But there was a big committee came across to shut the play down, and then they kept tackling in the middle of the field and they get the ball back. So well done to Macquarie. Good goal line defence.
Well, Lakes need a good set here in defence and try and cut the Scorpions as close to their own goal line and put pressure on the kicker. And then they should be able to get it back in good field territory.
In both their games against West and against Cessnock here a couple of weeks ago, Lakes found themselves behind in the second half and lifted. And they've been able to go through the gears very well this season in the big moments, in the big games. They have been able to find something, so that's what they need to do here.
Inspirational run there from Blake Allen. You can hear the applause in the background coming from the fans that have travelled across the lake. Inside the 40s, the kick. This ball's going to have a little bit of wind behind it, but it pops up nicely. The Mackin. Because he can't get any further than Royce Jeffrey tackle. So tackle in numbers again. 1, 2, but 3 in there. The 13, the 8 and the 4. Now they attack to the 40-metre mark. 12 points to 10. Macquarie here in the finals. Adams was collected and cleaned up, but he was able to flick that pass away before all that happened. To Sullivan, back to Adams. The crowd lifting. They need to lift their side. You expect that. Here they go on a rampage. Juggled. Did well. Beating 1, beating 2. Still going. Who's that? That's Varka in 5. Nobody wants to put the big, strong winger down until now. Cantor says, come here, and I'll manhandle you. About 28 metres away. Here's the kick. They're all onside, so it'll be play on. Here's the kick. It's a towering kick and a beautiful catch in goal. Diffused well at the back. Back out to the 20-metre mark.
Interesting point about the defensive line there for Macquarie. I noticed this in the first half when they were on their own line as well, that they've got Nathan Cantor defending on the wing. Despite the fact that he's listed as playing fullback, they've got him defending on the wing. So I don't know if that's because they've got another defender they don't fancy up in the line, or whether they don't fancy Cantor at fullback or what it is. But yeah, he's been playing out on the wing and they've had the wingers dropping back.
Adams again. Absolute workhorse from the captain. Plenty of experience. And it's certainly showing here in the finals. Third tackle. Up by 2, the Scorps. Winner to play Wests. Here's the kick. The chasers are good. They're coming through on Mackin, but he'll be hoping that this ball might even hit the corner post.
Well, perfect kick again there for Andrew Sumner. What on earth do you do with that if you're the fullback? Literally right into the corner, and it collected the corner post. And that's exactly the sort of kick that they'll be looking for when you're in front in a semi-final. All you've got to do in those positions is just put it in the corner and make them bring it back. And he's been very good at it all year, Andrew Sumner, and he's showing it again today where it really matters.
Get ball in. Leave it, boys.
Ikanofo.
Kick out, boys, kick out. We go.
Cantor, the fullback, find himself making that tackle, and he's in there again right now, assisted by Jeffrey, and spiraled back first into the hard turf here. The ground's in good nick here at Carl Oval.
What about that run? It's starting to come up a bit here. That was a
crowd
big charge.
loving this, riding with every tackle, with every hit up as well. Adams, he goes for a run. He's been flung into the ground. Crowd booing here. They want a penalty.
It's warming up, Peter.
Here's the kick. Morgan going straight down the Scorpions' number 3's throat in Manson. Oh, what a shot!
Hello.
Well, I'd like to look at the replay.
Oh, they're throwing them. Hello. There's a couple getting thrown here. This isn't just a scrap. There's a few punches going in as well. I reckon we might be down a couple of players in a minute. You're not allowed to do that in rugby league anymore. Mitch Manson it was who was collected around the head. I'm sure we'll see the replay in a moment.
Let's have a listen. We need to know what Stair's going to do here.
As soon as the tackle was made, they came flying from everywhere, and there was only one result.
Well, he's telling everybody to go away. Let's go in and have a listen.
What was? Yeah, hook on there. Yeah, lay shot, high shot, penalty's only go against you. Just speak, we're going to speak to that, we're going to address that very shortly. Right, same, just get your players, calm down, it's been good football at this stage.
Hayden Jeans it was with the tackle, so nothing happening to him. It was an accident, he was low when the tackle came in, was Mitch Manson.
So Stair, this is the replay. Just keep an eye. Nothing in that.
Yeah,
that's just rugby league at its best.
He was low. He was on his way down, Mitch Manson. He'd already ridden one tackle, so there is a bit of an excuse there for Hayden Jeans. But they just came flying from everywhere, and I think it's just the occasion that they're just ready to go at a moment's notice. And isn't this bubbling away beautifully now? The hit-ups are a bit harder, the crowd's a bit louder.
And this is Simon Allen. Andrew Sumner goes wide. Nathan Cantor wrapped up there from Dylan Harton. Back to Briggs. Picked up a try only a matter of 5 minutes ago. 12-10. The team with the football. That's the Scorpions. Manson spinning away from one. Can't beat the second line. 12 metres away from the goal line. Back to Jeffrey. He goes for a bit of a trot. He puts the foot down and he's being picked up and driven. Now to Briggs. This will bring a penalty. The crowd won't like this.
Yeah, they're saying the marker wasn't square. Isaac Briggs gambled on the penalty there. He thought that he wasn't square and took the ball up. If it hadn't been a penalty, well, he would have been tackled on last tackle with the ball. But as it was, they get another 6 tackles, and what a huge moment this is now.
Chaffee. This is Briggs. Giving it away to Moran. Cuts out one. Manson. 8 metres out. Moran dummying before finding Jeffrey. And Matt's on his back. This is Randall Briggs giving away to Sumner. He goes the line. Finds Allen. He'll barge. He's close. He's held up. Held up. Great defence there coming through from the Seagulls. Well, it wasn't the last tackle. Or was it?
No, it wasn't. Certainly was great play there by Sumner, just holding it up and holding it up. But good defence, really good defence from Lakes. Couple of tackles to go.
Well, Shafi wants the ball, and he's about to get it. Leading by 2. Here's the kick. Cut off by the Seagulls. The crowd love that. They're still in the match.
It's a bit of a funny set of 6 that in a way. See they go. This is Josh Charles. It was a bit of a funny set of 6 in a way there from Macqaurie. They were just trying to look at really bash and barge their way over.
Listen to the crowd. This is what you love. This is what they're hoping can come of this. With a beautiful pass. That's Wagner. There he is. Cleaned up, all in all. They're from Nathan Cantor. That's the halfway line he's crossed. 21 minutes gone. Second half. That's the 40-metre line where Gallen finds himself in defence. Back away to Murray. Crossing the line. He's out on Mackin. Pass is okay. Sigh of relief coming here from the crowd. Here's the towering kick. Murray says, let's go high. Probably his highest kick in the NRL this year, and maybe his best. There's a try under the post. James Barker has brought this crowd alive here in the NRL. Noise like this we haven't seen for 5 years. Oh, it's deafening.
Well, I think there'll be a question over the contest. I'm sure we'll have a look at the replay. He was under a lot of pressure out there. It was the Macquarie player who's still down. It's Matt Hay over there in the 2. And if he's still down, that suggests he might have got collected on the way through. But this will be a very interesting replay to see what came of it. You're absolutely right. It was a towering kick from Brad Murray. He sent it into outer space. And as it came down, there were so many players under the ball. It really was a lottery. There's a bit of concern here for Matt Hay. I think that's Brad Murray or possibly Jay Solomon has just gone over to see if he's okay. He's up and coming back now, but that was a very, very dangerous kick, and always a chance that would happen. Here's the challenge. This will be interesting. You can see Hay coming in. He's got it, and he's collected there by Josh Charles, but I've got to say, I think you'd have to say Charles is contesting the ball there, so that's probably fair play. Up they go. Charles is going for the ball, and oh, geez, it's close.
Well, it's on the scoreboard. You'll read about it in tomorrow's Newcastle Herald, written, of course, by Josh Leeson, who's next to us here in the commentary box. So 16-12. 16-12 to the home side. Winner to play Wests next week. 15 minutes remaining in the match.
They needn't panic, Macquarie. There's plenty of time left.
No doubt Western Suburbs, Rosellas, anxiously looking on and watching our Bar TV coverage to see who they'll be taking on next weekend as well.
I think the most pleasing thing for Western Suburbs will be how hard this game's been. Whoever does win, they're going to be really softened up for next week's game against West, considering West have had a week off.
It's been a seesawing game, a game of high emotions coming from both ends. Chris Adams going back through the middle. Macqaurie up quickly. That's the halfway line. Was a touch. No, says Stair. They need a kick. The kick may fall straight down the Scorpion here, but we'll come back to the halfway line. Stair's going across to have a chat with Kylie here. Well, that was an interesting one.
I think you said that there was a forward pass there from the Lakes player, so it's going to be a changeover on last tackle. There did look to be a couple of little scrappy moments in that passage of play, so
it's a good start to a fresh set of 6 here for the away side. Down by 4 points. There's a try in it. Good charging run here from Jeffrey. Cleaned up by Harton. Briggs giving it away. They're attacking. This is Manson. Beating one. Trying to fend away from Ikanofo.
He's a slippery customer, Manson, with a good step. And much like Nathan Cantor, when these forwards get tired, those players are going to be very, very dangerous. Macquarie are actually making 3 substitutions at the moment, by the way.
There's the kick into the in-goal area. They're coming through. But Mackin saves the day for the Seagulls. In goal. Goal line drop out here. 15 to go.
So Isaac Briggs has just come on. The 18, Adam Grew's just come on for Jeffrey, for Matt Jeffrey. And the 9, Jordan Noble. He looks like he's about to come on as well. So 3 changes from Macquarie. That's a lot of players to change all at once. And they're obviously looking for a bit of impact, maybe some fresh legs.
It's tense. And the game's alive. Macquarie. It's for them here. Let's see what they can do. Barry Moore's team flying back onto it. Through Blake Shaffey. Now to Randall Briggs. They cross the 30, inching their way down to the 20-metre mark. That's Adam Grew. Lining up now, again to the right. They're up quickly. Back away to Moran. Looking for support. He's found a support, but he's found the opposition.
Well, he must have called for that.
This is Charles. He's away. He's down the sideline. And he's banged into the ground here, Morgan. 40 out. There's no dummy half penalty, though. Oh, well, 50-50 there, I think. It'd be interesting to see if we can get that on the replay.
Yeah, those ones, I think you've pretty much got to have nobody at dummy half to be able to dive in the ruck like that. I think Brad Murray was coming across, so you can understand why the penalty was given. But as for that intercept that was thrown by Mick Moran, well, there's no other explanation. Dylan Harton must have called for the ball there because Moran turned around and threw it straight to him.
So down to the 30-metre line with 12 minutes to go in the match. Hayden Jeans can't get past the 30-metre line. Adams away to Hayes. That's the 20 in front of him. Turning it back to Sullivan, giving it away. That's okay. Play on, says the ref. And he's going to be caught and captured and spun around by Isaac Briggs. Moran gets off him as well. 12 metres away from the line. That's the 10-metre line. Through Dylan Harton. Captured and brought down by Gallen. 8 metres away. Adams again. He's lost it. Everyone's lost it. Interesting to see which way he gives this.
That's the second time that's happened. They tried that on Chris Adams a few minutes ago.
Must stay here, lads. Must fucking day.
Lovely family-friendly program.
Last tackle. Yep.
That's the last tackle, that.
They tried that on Chris Adams over here on the near side a few minutes ago, and the ball came spewing out and luckily went to a Lake's hand. But that time he didn't have the fortune, and yeah, they got up and snapped the ball off him. And that'll make Chris Adams think twice before he runs out of dummy half. It's a good play for Macquarie.
This is Diallo. Straight and hard towards the middle of the ruck. Quarry Scorpions down by 4 points inside the last 10 minutes. Juggled and put down by Moran, and don't the crowd embrace that.
Well, I said it in the first half, I'll say it again. Mick Moran's not a second rower. I don't know why he's running those lines, but it's the same result as in the first half. The ball went to ground under a lot of pressure.
This side.
Oh, you can feel it from the grandstands, let alone what these players. The tensions are high, off and on the field. The lights are on here at Carl Oval.
The 4 o'clock chill is well and truly here as well, Peter, may I say. Starting to get a little bit nippy.
Josh Charles doesn't want to go into the ground. They've had trouble putting these Seagulls onto the ground today, that's for sure. Back to Callan Adams. That's Simon Allen getting off him.
Knock on.
Knock on. Well, as you can hear in the background through our effects, Mike. He's got it right there, Stair.
Yeah, Callan Adams there, just got the fumbles on the way up. You see it happening under pressure. That's a bad mistake. because Macquarie had made the error on the halfway line and given Lakes a chance there, and they've tossed it away. It's going to be up to the halves, isn't it? It's going to be up to the Macquarie halves and what they can come up with under pressure, and whether they can get those quick men that they've got out wide, like Manson and Cantor, and get them involved. That'll help. There's a penalty.
30 metres out. So the rules of the NRL finals, if we're locked up, we play 5 minutes, then we change ends, then we play until first points. But if there's any points in the first 5 minutes, it's all but over. Matt Hay, within 5 metres of the halfway line.
So in theory, we could still be here at 4 o'clock in the morning, Peter. Tell you what, the canteen will be happy.
By then, you'll be getting your thermals out. 35 metres out from the line. These players really putting on a spectacle here in the Newcastle Rugby League. A crowd in excess of nearly 2,000 in here. Back to Noble. He sees the gap. Put down there by Mackin.
They've got the roll on here. They're going to go wide.
Briggs.
Oh, they should have gone wide. They didn't.
Last tackle now for the Scorpions. Jeffrey wants it. He'll need to go high if he's got any chance of coming down with it. Jeffrey can't come down with the football.
Well, what a chance. It was an interesting kick. They really took the gamble. They could have rolled it in and had another set, but they decided to throw it up onto the corner. Dealou, he's big and tall. He's exactly the man you'd want to be kicking to, but they just couldn't get up and take a clean catch. Lakes get away with it again. Time's ticking away now. About 7.5 to go.
16 to 12. What a finals match. The Rosellas await the victors. Cessnock await the team on the other end. A victory. Penalty to the locals.
Yeah, high tackle from Blake Gallen there. He came across. I think that was pretty harsh. I mean, maybe if we were to see the replay, it might have been a little bit high, but it didn't look like a particularly dangerous tackle. And he certainly didn't seem impressed with the decision as he walked back.
So 6.5 minutes to go as the ball hits the roof.
Fair old kick for touch to find the roof here.
Look at the impacts from both sides in defence and attack. You know it's finals football, don't you? I think there was a knock on there amongst all that, and Stair agrees.
Yeah, Stair only half saw it, and he looked to his touch judge there, Greg Ryan, who gave the nod. It's a knock on, so neither side can hang on to the ball at the moment. It's like neither of them want to win. So either they're very, very keen to meet Cessnock, or they're getting a bit tired.
So 6 minutes to go here in this one. This is it on the replay. There's that tiny little bobble. Wasn't the best. Played the ball. I think his head's just got in the way of.
Well, I think it was that the
Everything.
man playing the ball stumbled backwards and got in Chris Adams' way. So he probably had excuses there. There could arguably have been a case for a penalty against Macquarie for a push on the man playing the ball.
So Noble sending it to the right-hand side. They're trying to edge ahead. That was Isaac Briggs. Back to Gallen. Great ball away to Grew. He's got support. That's off the thigh. Picked up by Matt Craig, and he set sail past the 10. And that's where he's going to finish at his tracks. Put down there by Cantor.
Well, Lakes are giving Macquarie chances, and they're not taking them. That was a great bit of play. Adam Grew, he busts into the open field and then gets the fumbles, and it's a really bad mistake at this stage of the game. They won't get many more chances. There's only 5 minutes to go. They can't be wasting them when they do happen.
Blake Gallen, Collars, Ekadofo. They about to cross the halfway line. Gallen's in there again with all his experience. Just on 4 minutes to go in this game. An absolute classic Newcastle Rugby League final.
Well, I don't know about you, but that looked like that would have been a forward pass in the NFL. Dear, oh dear. And maybe a bit of justice is the knock-on in the centre of the field. Yeah, Chris Adams over there threw a pass which I think Jared Hayne would have been on the end of. But anyway, Macquarie end up getting the ball back anyhow.
The crowd, they have not moved. The locals, credit to them, coming out to supporting the Newcastle Rugby League today. They're hoping that their boys can hang on for another 4 minutes, and they'll go on and take on Western Suburbs for a spot in the 2015 Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final. Over the halfway line, through Allen, centre of the park.
Well, with all respect to Western Suburbs, I don't think anyone on today's performance...
Edwards, he's away! He comes down to Mackin.
I don't think anyone would be disappointed if they served this up as a grand final. This has been a ripper.
The game plan is to go straight and hard towards the 10. Now it's the last tackle. So what have they got in their book of tricks? Has Barry Moore, any side, got one last trick in the book? Here's the kick. It's ricocheted off the Seagull. They might get it back. It's off his knee. Play on. Seagulls come down with it. 5 out from their own line.
Well, on such things can a game turn there. You saw both players from Lakes and Macquarie, just showing all the desire in the world to get down to that loose ball. And it was just the Lakes player who got a hand to it first and managed to grab it.
Just on 2.5 minutes to go in a brutal qualifying semi-final.
Big defence here from Macquarie. They don't want to go in too hard and give away a penalty, but they're really penning Lakes in.
Vaka squatting them off like mosquitoes, and he's hurt.
A suggestion of, I think there was a bit of a swinging arm in high there while he was on the ground. I'd be interested to see a replay of this. Certainly Kylie Aylett didn't see it, and referee Stair didn't see it. But it did look like somebody came in over the top and clouded him around the head.
Well, that takes a bit of the sting out of the dying 2 minutes. Here it is. Let's see if he does have double vision.
Yeah, right there. It's Randall Briggs. He looked like he just came in over the top and might have collected him. Let's have a look. Whack. There you go.
The left arm from Briggs.
I thought so. And Varka's still pretty unwell over there. He has got to his feet, but he's still looking a bit sore and still crouching over.
.90 seconds roughly left in the clash. If this is anything going to go by, gee whiz, we're going to be in for a great series, aren't we? The bounce of the ball comes back for the Seagulls. It's still the last tackle, so they'll have to put in the kick. Harton, biggest and oldest in the game, has to put in the kick. Well, I think when he signed up, he probably thought he wasn't going to put in the last kick in the qualifying semi-final, but he has.
He's come up with it, though.
He'll be after a bit more cash.
Tim Harlow, they'll have him playing 5'8" next week. That was a beauty. I mean, let's not go in too hard. I mean,
anyway,
it only went 30 metres, but it could easily have gone out on the full or something, got them out of trouble.
Randall Briggs, halfway line. 40-odd seconds to go in the match. Speaking of Isaac Briggs, he flicks one out the back. It's play on. Macquarie down to the 30. Four-point ball game. Trailing, the siren goes in the background. They put in the kick, but it's little. Too late for Macquarie here today. They'll live to fight Cessnock next week. But the day belongs to Dean Noonan's Lake United Seagulls. They're off to play the minor premiers Western Suburbs for a spot in the 2015 Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final next weekend.
Well, on balance, they deserve that, Lakes. That was a really, really good game, a really hard game, and as we predicted, there weren't a lot in it. Macquarie, well, they've had points in them all year. They've averaged 30 points a game this season. Lakes have kept them to 12, and in the end, that was the difference. Macquarie's attack just couldn't come up with enough answers when they really needed it. They threw away a couple of chances with a few poor mistakes. And, well, it's the story that it's been for a few years for Macquarie in the semi-finals. They just can't quite get there. They can't quite get a win in those tight games. And now, all of a sudden, they find themselves having finished third in an elimination game next week against Cessnock. with Cessnock on the back of a 40-point win. So all of a sudden they've got a bit of a problem. As for Lakes, from bottom of the table last year, they're a game away from the grand final, and deservedly so.
What a remarkable 12 months. We'll stay with these pitches because we haven't seen pitches like this here at Carl Oval for a number of years, and they know they can't do what they do, the players, without their friends and family and the support of the locals out here in the Belmont district and the sponsors that have stuck solid to this club over, I guess, a turbulent period as well.
Yeah, that's right, Peter. It's been a long few years for them, but the crowd, they've turned up here. They know that this is a very, very good side. This is the last game we'll see at Carl Oval this year, you would imagine, unless something strange happens with the scheduling. But there's been good crowds here all year, as I said, right at the top of the program. And no, they deserve to be there. They've got their own merit. They'll make a real good game of it next week against West. That'll be hard to pick.
Well, warm up your vocal cords, Morgan, because you've got a big weekend of rugby league coming up. You've got a double header to get through next weekend.
Wouldn't have it any other way, Peter.
Then the final. Then we'll all regather at Hunter Stadium. Well, we'll leave you now with these scenes of jubilation here at Carl Oval. The crowd love it. We love it. And the game of Newcastle Rugby League laps it up. And we wouldn't have it any other way. Until next week, it's bye for now on behalf of everybody here at Bar TV Sports.
Real guys, real sport. Bar TV.